I started to tell you this story the other day, and then I decided I'd just save it and tell it to you today. Uh, One day we were back on furlough, and to be blunt honest with you, we've been spending money like crazy getting churches started in Peru. In those first 3 years that we had been in Peru, the Lord had allowed me to work in 5 churches. We had started, three of them, and two of those churches we were working in that somebody else had started, but they had been literally running very, very few people, and God had blessed, and attendance had grown. And I'm back in the United States, and I rented a car from a friend of mine, a little pickup truck. And we got in the truck, and I told my son, who was, I think, 15 at the time, his name is Chris, he's our oldest son. Of course, he's an old man now, but we got in the car, and I said to him, I want you to take this notebook. Now, I just want to show you how God takes care of his people. I said, I want you to take this notebook, and I want you to write down, and you're going to keep up with every expense that we have. And you're going to write them all down, and you're going to take those expenses, and you're going to put down how much income we get out of these churches in offerings. So just start out right now. I paid the guy $300 to use his truck for a month, which is really very cheap. And so we started driving. And at the first church that we went to, I got in touch with the pastor, and he let me know that they had no money, and he wanted me to come, and they couldn't give me a love offering, and they would let me spend the night. And but he would give me breakfast, and that would be it. That was it. So we traveled like 12 hours up into the Virginia area, and we stopped into this church. And before we did, I stopped on this road, and I said to my son Chris, I said, you better get something to eat, so because we'll buy it with the pastor, but I don't know if he's paying the way he talked. I don't think he will. And so we stopped, and he got him a McDonald's meal, and then we got back in the car and drove on, and we arrived, and the pastor said, well, if y'all want something to eat, you better get it here. We met at a McDonald's, and so, again, I bought Chris his second meal, because back then he sure needed that to make it through. And he bought that meal, and I bought me something to eat, and the pastor didn't want anything to eat, supposedly. And we went to his home and spent the night, and he put us in one room, and it was like I don't know, a full bed. And he said, y'all just have to sleep together. That's all we have. And I said, that's okay. He stepped out of the room. I said, Chris, you're on the floor, buddy, because I am not sleeping with you. So he slept on the floor. We got up the next morning, went to the church and preached. There was a handful of people there. But the church had been supporting me for $25 a month for, 4 or 5 years. And I was just very grateful. And we got ready to leave, and he gave us no love offering. And so Chris had written down $300 as an expense, and he'd written down a couple of tanks of gas, whatever it took us to get to this 12-hour drive, maybe 3 tanks of gas. And so then we stopped and bought lunch, and he wrote that down, and he wrote down what we spent on supper. And we're riding in the vehicle, and he looks at me and he said, Dad, we are bad losing money. This is not a winning proposition. I said, I'm going to show you how God takes care of his people. So we showed up and preached that next night service, and I don't know, we got to a $300-$400 love offering, but still we're in the hole. We got back to our little room where they put us up, and he said, Dad, we're not doing real good. And I said, just hang on. And you know what happened over that month period? Not only did we enjoy spending time together, me and my son got to spend time together, but I showed my son how good God is and how God takes care of his people. And so slowly we got up, and one day he said, Dad, we're about to break even. And you know what happened before the next month was over? We were more than even. We had cleared money and made a profit, and money for us to take home to help our family. And God had proven himself to me and to my son. What an experience. What an experiment. What a proof of how good your God is. And so I just want to say to you, I think you're taking the wrong approach. You're believing how bad things are, when in all honesty, it's a great lesson for you and your family. So can I challenge you to consider trusting God on deputation? There's so much out there for you. God is going to bless you and work in your life. Step out and let him do something great. You are special for him, and he wants to use you greatly. God bless every one of you.